Today, in the class of accounting for managerial decision, we again come here with a new topic under marginal costing, and the topic is how we will adopt a sales mix. When we will discuss about adoption of sales mix, then we have to remember that when different types of sales mix is given in the question and we have to attempt any one, that the simple answer will be the sales mix would be adopted by us which provide maximum profit. And how we can find the maximum amount of profit in case of adoption of sales mix. Here today in class we will discuss about the whole. Clear? We now here in this class we will understand the procedure of adoption of sales mix through a numerical question, and with the help of this question you all will be able to find that how we could adopt a sales mix. Clear? तो आपके पास देखिए होना क्या है, आज के जो हमारा इस क्लास है, इस क्लास में हम लोग पूरा फोकस करेंगे अपने उस सेशन में जिस सेशन के थ्रू हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे कि हाउ वी कैन adopt a profitable sales mix out of different given in the question. जैसे आपके पास इस क्वेश्चन में देखिए हम पूरे प्रोसीजर को एक क्वेश्चन के थ्रू समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि इस कंप्लीट क्वेश्चन में हमारे पास जो ये डिफरेंट सेल्स मिक्स गिवन है अंडर ए बी सी डी, इन सेल्स मिक्स में से किस सेल्स मिक्स को हम अडॉप्ट करेंगे और क्यों उसको हम अडॉप्ट करेंगे, इसके बारे में हम डिसीजन लेना आज सीखेंगे. क्लियर? Here in the question, the director of Shivani Limited are considering the sales budget for the next budget period. यानी कि आने वाले पीरियड के लिए उसको कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन आपको प्रोवाइड करी है उसमें सेल्स बजट से रिलेटेड. यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू प्रेजेंट टू द बोर्ड a statement showing marginal cost of each product and to also recommend as which of the following sales mix should be adopted. तो अब देखिए आपको करना क्या है, आपको ये मान के चलना है, हम ये मान के चल रहे हैं कि आप लोग क्या है, एक फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट के मैनेजरल अकाउंटेंट के रूप में आप कंपनी में पोस्टेड हैं और पोस्टेड होने के नाते आपके सामने एक इंफॉर्मेशन कंपनी ने प्रोवाइड करी है, कुछ डेटा आपको प्रोवाइड किया है और उसके बेस पर वो जानना चाह रहा है कि आपको इन डिफरेंट सेल्स मिक्स में से किस सेल्स मिक्स को अडॉप्ट करने के बारे में कंपनी को रिकमेंडेशन प्रोवाइड करनी चाहिए. तो हमारे पास यहाँ पर जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है उसके अकॉर्डिंग केस फर्स्ट, व्हेन वी अडॉप्ट द सेल्स मिक्स फर्स्ट, then we have to produce 900 units of X and 600 units of Y. When we adopt sales mix second, then we have to produce only 1800 units of X. When sales mix third will be adopted, then we have to produce only 1200 units of Y only. And when the sales mix D will be adopted by us, then we have to produce 1200 units of X and 400 units of Y. So you are given the following information. The data which is given here for product X and Y related to direct labor, direct material, selling price, fixed overhead and variable overhead are given in the question. So here we are going to take a decision on the basis of marginal costing. And when we make a decision based on the marginal costing, then first we have to prepare a statement showing marginal cost and then another thing that is profit in the question. Clear? So here we will prepare our solution in 4 parts. Part first, when this sales mix will be adopted, and second, this one, third, this, and fourth one, this. So when we will solve this question 4 times and find the amount of marginal cost and profit, then we are able to check that which sales mix provide maximum profit. The sales mix which provide the maximum profit to the company should be selected by the manager of the company and recommend to the company management. Clear? So how we can find the amount of profit here? we will take the first case when 900 units of X and 600 units of Y produced by Shivani Limited. Then we have to prepare a statement showing marginal cost and profit again. Clear? When we prepare our statement showing marginal cost and profit, then we divide our page into 4 equal parts. First, second, third, fourth. So there are 4 parts. These first part is belongs to the particular. Next, we have shown product X, whom 900 units are sold here. Again, we will show the product Y, whose 600 units is going to be produced and sold in the market. And here in the last, we have shown the total. These 2 columns of product X and Y will again divided into 2 sub-columns, cost per unit amount, cost per unit and amount. Okay. Now we start here with the sales. Because the amount of sales is given in the question, then we will start here with the sales, and when the amount of sales is not given in the question, then we will start with the marginal cost. The 2 things should be remembered in your mind, that when the amount of sales or the information related to sales is given in the question, then you start your question with sales, and if the sales is not given and you have to calculate the sales, then you will start with the marginal cost. Clear? Here we will start with the sales, and the information about the selling price of product X is given ₹60 per unit. You will show it here, and when you multiply this by 900, then you can find the amount of total sales of X. Same, we have picked the selling price of product Y, which is 100 per unit here, and when we multiply it, then we can find the amount of total sales. And when we make the total of this one and this, these 2 amounts, when we make the total here, then it will known as total. After it, we will show these amounts, these figures again in the next line, and represented as A, known as total sales. Now in part B, we will show here the marginal cost. To pick the marginal cost, we show here the different items which are variable. Here the first variable item is direct material. We will show it here. The cost of direct material per unit of X is 20, given in the question. So we have shown it here. And when we multiplied it by 900, then we can show the amount of total material related to X. By using the same procedure, we will able to find the amount of material for Y, and the material cost per unit for Y is 25. After multiplying with units, we can find the amount of total material for Y, and after it, we will make the total of these 2, 18,000 and 15,000. Then we can find the amount of total material, 33,000. The next item which we can show here under marginal cost is direct labor. Direct labor, when we show that it is given in the question that direct labor will be 50 paisa per hour, and to produce a single unit, we require 20 hours in case of product X and 30 hours in case of product Y. Here, the amount is not given in the question, but the data which is given is in hours. And when we prepare our marginal cost, then we have to show the amount, not the hours. How now? We will convert these hours into money. Clear? So here the information is given that when we produce a single unit of product X, then we require 20 hours, and cost of an hour is 50 paisa. So what will be the cost to produce 1 unit of direct labor? When we multiply these two, 20 by 50 paisa and 30 by 50 paisa, then we can find the rate per hour. Sorry, rate per unit of direct labor. Clear? Here the rate is given 50 paisa per hour. On the basis of 20 hours, the rate will be 20 hours into 50 paisa. It will be 10. Clear? And when we multiplied it by 900, then we can find the amount of total direct labor. Again, we will calculate it for Y. The information is given for Y is that to produce a single unit of Y, we require 30 hours. Here we will show 30 hours and multiplied it by 50 paisa per unit. per hour. Then we can find the amount of labor for Y per unit rupees 15, and after multiplying it by with units, we can find the amount of total labor for Y. After it, we will make the total of both figures and find the amount of total labor. The next one is variable overhead. Is given in the question. We will show it here, variable overhead. And this variable overhead is 100% of labor. So this is 100% of labor. We have note down it here, 100% of labor. And labor we have calculated in second line here, 10, 9,000, 15, 9,000, 18,000. We will calculate the 100% of these line. The same amount will be shown here, 100% of this. Clear? After it, we will make the total of our marginal cost, 20, 10, 10, 40, 18, 9, 9, 36, 25, 15, 15, 55, 15,000, 9,000, 9,000, 33,000, and here 69,000. So this will known as be as marginal cost. After finding the total cost, sales and marginal cost, now we calculate here the contribution. And to calculate the contribution, we will deduct our marginal cost out of sales, and we can find the amount of contribution here. This one. Clear? We all know that this contribution includes fixed cost and profit. When we deduct here the amount of fixed cost, the fixed cost or overhead, which is given in the question, rupees 10,000 per annum here, then we find the balancing figure here. The balancing figure which we find here is known as the amount of profit. So this is the amount of profit as case first when we produced both units. Clear? Here is the amount of our profit, 35,000, when case first sales mix 900 units of X and 600 units of Y are produced by C1 Limited. Clear? So this is the first answer. Now again, we will calculate the amount of profit and marginal cost when we produce 1800 units of Y only. Now we will again prepare the same procedure. We follow the same procedure and prepare and find the amount of marginal cost and profit by preparing a cost statement here. But now we will show here the three column in our page, particular X of 1800 units only and cost per unit amount and total. There is no need to show here total, but when we are producing more than one product, then it is in our habit that the amount of total या column of total should be here in this question. तो आपके पास ये total का column question में आपके practice में होना चाहिए कि जब आपके पास एक से ज्यादा product का combination हो तो आप एक स्पेसिफिक फॉर्मेट के बेस पर अपना काम कर रहे हो तो वो आपके पास होना चाहिए. अगर आप इस कॉलम को नहीं भी बनाते हैं तो आपके पास यहाँ पर आप केवल इन तीन कॉलम से भी काम चला सकते हैं. लेकिन आपके पास जरूरी क्या है कि जब आप प्रैक्टिस मोड में होते हैं और आप एक से ज्यादा प्रोडक्ट बनाने के लिए कंपैरेटिवली स्टडी करते हैं तो आपके पास टोटल वाला कॉलम हर एक क्वेश्चन में होना चाहिए जिसके बेस पर आप अपना डिसीजन ले सकते हैं. क्लियर? तो अगेन वी विल स्टार्ट विद द सेल्स एंड हियर we have to show the selling price of product X 60 per unit, and when we multiplied it by 1800 then we can find the amount of total sales, and this amount will be directly shown here in outer column. Again we will make the total of these three values and it will known as a total sales. Now we have to show the marginal cost. The marginal cost is given in the question that direct material rupees 20 per unit in case of product X multiplied by 1800, then find the amount of direct material. Now we show the direct labor. It is 50 paisa per hour. For material for product X we consumed 20 hours, then we required 10 rupees per unit of labor, and when we multiplied it by units produced of product X, then we can find the amount of total labor 18,000. Now we have to show the variable overhead, and it is 100% of labor. Labor is given in the question 10, 18,000, 18,000. When we calculate 100% of this one, then we find the amount, same amount. After it, we will make the total of our marginal cost, and it will be denoted by us B as marginal cost. After it, we find the contribution here, and to calculate the contribution, we deduct marginal cost out of sales, and when we deduct these two, then we find the amount of contribution here. As we all know that this contribution includes fixed cost and profit. Hence, if we deduct the fixed cost here, which is given in the question directly, rupees 10,000, because fixed cost will remain same, either one product will be produced or two or more than two products will be produced by the company, the fixed cost will remain same. Hence, we will deduct here rupees 10,000. There will be no change in the fixed cost. And when we deduct it, then the balance which comes is known as the amount of profit. Our profit when we produce 1800 units of X only. So this is our second answer of profit. Again, we will follow the same procedure in case third when we produce only 1200 units of product Y. How we can find the profit? We will follow the same procedure. But here the column of product X will be converted to product Y. Here the format will remain same as we have created in case B particular, but here the product Y will be, and product Y we have produced 1200 units. Cost per unit, total cost per unit and amount we have to show it here. And again we will start with the sales, and the selling price is given in the question for product Y is rupees 100. We have to show it 100 and multiplied it with 1200, then we can find the amount of total sales, and this will be also shown here. Again we will make the total of these three, and it will be noted by us A as total sales. Clear? Now we show here the marginal cost. The marginal cost, under it we includes material, labor and variable overhead. First we show the direct material. The direct material we have shown here, and the rate for direct material of product Y is 25. We shown it 25 here, and after multiplying with 1200 we find the amount of total material, and it will be directly shown here in the column of total. Now the next item is direct labor. Direct labor cost is 50 paisa per hour given in the question, and we require 30 hours to produce a single unit of product Y. Then we can calculate the labor cost per unit by applying this formula, and we can show here the amount of labor cost per unit. When we multiplied it with 1200, then we find the amount of total labor cost which required to produce 1200 units, and we can show the total directly here. After it, we show here the next item is overhead, which is variable. We have shown here variable overhead, and variable overhead is given 100% of labor. We have shown it here, and again we will calculate the 100% of this line. It will remain same, and after it we will make the total of these three, next three and these three, and it will be noted by us as B as marginal cost. After it we will calculate here the contribution, and contribution will be A minus B. 45, 54 and 54,000. So this is the amount of our contribution, and after finding the contribution, now we deduct here the amount of fixed cost. The fixed cost is 10,000 and it will remain same. There will be no change in the fixed cost, hence it will rupees 10,000 in this case. Also, when we produce only 1200 units of Y, after deduction the fixed cost out of this contribution, we show here the balancing figure, and this balancing figure is known as profit. Clear? So this is the amount of profit when we produce 1200 units of Y only. And you have to remember one thing in your mind, that when you produce more than one product, and you have to calculate the marginal cost and profit. And in calculation of profit, if you deduct the fixed cost, then the fixed cost will be deducted at last column, which will be of total, not in the column of products. आप प्रोडक्ट के कॉलम में कभी भी फिक्स कॉस्ट को डिडक्ट नहीं करेंगे. आपकी जो फिक्स कॉस्ट होगी वो फिक्स कॉस्ट आपकी टोटल वाले कॉलम में डिडक्ट होगी, प्रोडक्ट्स वाले कॉलम में आपकी फिक्स कॉस्ट डिडक्ट नहीं होगा. इस चीज को अपने माइंड में आप रखिए और इसी के बेस पर आपके पास फॉर्मेट जो होगा उस फॉर्मेट में आपका एक टोटल वाला कॉलम चलता रहेगा. थोड़ा सा आपका पेन जरूर घिसेगा एग्जाम में, लेकिन आपके मार्क्स भी डेफिनेटली उतने ही अच्छे आएंगे जब आप अपना प्रेजेंटेशन इंप्रूव करेंगे. क्लियर? अब हम इसके बाद मूव करते हैं अपने लास्ट केस की तरफ, और लास्ट केस हमारा क्या है? व्हेन वी प्रोड्यूस 1200 units of X and 400 units of Y only. So this is our fourth sales mix, and when we adopt this sales mix, then what will be the amount of profit? To calculate the amount of profit, in this case, again we will prepare the statement showing marginal cost and profit, and here we again prepare 4 columns. We divide our page into 4 columns. First for the particular, second for product X, where we have to show the 1200 units, which is given in the question. Next, Y, here we will show the 400 units, and here the last column will be of total. These 2 columns which are shown under product X and Y will be divided into 2 equal parts: cost per unit amount, cost per unit amount. Again we will start with the sales, and the selling price per unit is given rupees 60 for product X. And how we can calculate this one? The amount of total sales, when we multiply 1200 and 60, then we can find the amount of our total sales of X. Again we have to show the sales amount for Y, and the sales amount of Y is given here in the question, rupees 100 per unit. It is shown here, and we can calculate the total amount when we multiply the both values, 400 and 100. After it, we will make the total of 72,000 and 40,000 and shown it here in outer column. And we will again note down the same figures here in the next line, and it will denote it by us as A, total sales. After it, we show here the marginal cost. And when we want to show here the marginal cost, then we have to show here what is the different items which will come under marginal cost. And first one is material, and the amount of material per unit in case of product X is rupees 20. When you multiply it by 1200, then you can find the amount of 24,000 here. You have to show the material per unit for Y is 25. When you show it here and multiply it with 400, then you can find the amount of total material. And when you make the total of 24,000 and 10,000, then we can find the amount of total material cost, rupees 34,000. After it, we show here the labor, and labor cost is given here in the question, rupees 50 paisa per hour. And we have to calculate it again for the X and Y. And to produce product X, we require 20 hours. How we can convert these hours into rate? When we apply this formula, hours into rate per hour, then we can find the amount of labor rate per unit of product X. And when we multiply it with 1200, then we can find the amount of total labor cost of product X. Similarly, we will calculate the labor cost for Y, and to produce product Y, we require 30 hours. To calculate the per unit labor cost rate, when we multiply 30 hours with rate per hour, then we can find the rate per unit of labor for Y. And after multiplying it with 400, we can find the amount of total labor, rupees 6,000. After it, we make the total of 12,000 and 6,000, then we get the amount of total labor cost. After it, we show here the variable overhead. The variable overhead will be 100% of labor, and it will calculate it on the basis of figures which are shown here in front of direct labor in this line: 10, 12,000, 15, 6,000, 18,000. So when you calculate 100% of this, then you will find the same amount here under it. Yeah. So you have shown the all figures which comes under marginal cost. Now you make the total of these three, these three, these three, these three, and also of these three. This will denoted by us B as marginal cost. So this is the total of our marginal cost which we want to calculate here in this statement also. And now our basic target is to calculate the amount of profit. But to calculate the amount of profit, first we calculate here the contribution, and to calculate the amount of contribution we deduct here the marginal cost out of sales. When we deduct marginal cost out of sales, then we find the amount of contribution here 20 per unit, in figure in total column 24,000. In case of Y, it will 45 per unit, 18,000 total, and total contribution will be 42,000. After it, we deduct here the fixed cost, and when we deduct the fixed cost, and the fixed cost is given here in the question, which is rupees 10,000 per annum, directly deduct here. And after deducting the fixed cost, the balance which comes 32,000 will be the amount of our profit. Clear? So here we are able to find the amount of profit in all four cases. Clear? In all four cases, we calculate here the amount of profit. Now we have to calculate here the contribution. Oh, sorry. We have to make here the decision, the conclusion that which sales mix should be adopted by the company. Here, to find this contribution, we have to show the all result at a glance. The result was, in case first, when 900 units of X and 600 units of Y are produced by the company, then company earns a profit of 35,000. When 1800 units of Y are produced by the company of X only, then the profit will be 26,000. When 1200 units of Y are produced by the company only, then company earns a profit of 44,000. And at last, case D, when 1200 units of X and 400 units of Y are produced by the company, then the amount of profit will be 32,000. So which sales mix provides the maximum profit? Definitely. Say case third, when we produce 1200 units of Y, then company earns a maximum profit of 44,000. So this will be the sales mix which we have to adopt, by which company earn maximum profit. So here on the basis of this, now we have to make decision, and we have to give here the conclusion. And the conclusion will be on the basis of above analysis. Analysis means the four profits which are calculated by us here. Simani Limited should adopt sales mix C and produce 1200 units of product Y only. अब ये तो आपने बता दिया कि सेल्स मिक्स सी को उसको अडॉप्ट करना है, जिसके थ्रू क्या करना है 1200 यूनिट्स आपको प्रोड्यूस करने हैं. अब इसको आपको क्यों करना है तो वो भी आपको देना है, बिकॉज एट ए प्रोडक्शन ऑफ 1200 यूनिट्स ऑफ Y only, company earns maximum amount of profit of rupees 44,000. तो कंपनी क्या करेगी, जब आप केवल सेल्स मिक्स सी को अडॉप्ट करेंगे और सेल्स मिक्स सी को अडॉप्ट करने के बाद आप 1200 यूनिट्स का प्रोडक्शन करेंगे केवल Y का, तो Y की 1200 यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस करने पर आपका जो प्रॉफिट है वो आप दिख रहा है यहाँ पर आपको स्क्रीन पर कि आपके पास जो प्रॉफिट का अमाउंट है वो प्रॉफिट का अमाउंट आपका सबसे मैक्सिमम है 44,000. तो आपने सेल्स मिक्स सी को अडॉप्ट किया, क्यों? क्योंकि आपके पास क्या है कि आपका प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमम है. क्लियर? तो ये आपके पास कंक्लूजन हो जाएगा. और इस पूरे क्वेश्चन को अगर आप एक समरी में देखना चाहते हैं तो आपके पास सामने आपकी स्क्रीन पर आपको ये नजर आएंगे. इसके स्क्रीनशॉट अगर आप चाहें तो लेते रहिएगा. ये आपका क्वेश्चन है. इस क्वेश्चन का जब आपने पार्ट ए सॉल्व किया तो आपके पास इस रूप में ही आपका सॉल्व होके आया. हर एक के स्क्रीनशॉट आप तेजी से लेते रहिए. इसके बाद जब आपने पार्ट बी सॉल्व किया और y की x की केवल 1800 यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस की तो आपका प्रॉफिट यहां आपने कैलकुलेट किया. पार्ट सी, जब आपने प्रोड्यूस करके सॉल्व किया तो आपके पास प्रॉफिट का अमाउंट 44,000 कैलकुलेट होकर आया, जिसमें आपने केवल वाई की 1200 यूनिट्स प्रोड्यूस करी। केस डी, जब आपने दोनों ही प्रोडक्ट्स की यूनिट्स को प्रोड्यूस किया तो आपके पास डिफरेंट प्रॉफिट आपके कैलकुलेट होकर आ गए, और फाइनली आपने इसके बेस पर कंक्लूजन अपना दिखा दिया। तो एग्जाम में आपका काम केवल इन 4-5 पेज में हो जाएगा। और यहाँ पर आपके पास एक क्वेश्चन आपके सामने और है आपके होम असाइनमेंट के रूप में। इस होम असाइनमेंट को आप एक बार खुद ट्राई कीजिएगा, देख के करने की इसका आप स्क्रीनशॉट ले लीजिए और इसको आप मुझे सेंड कर देंगे। थैंक यू वेरी मच। दिस इज एनफ फॉर टुडे क्लास। थैंक यू वेरी मच।